Now let's talk mining. A new report shows that women suffer abuse and discrimination within small-scale mining. Wits University and ActionAid South Africa issued a report titled Understanding the Role and Participation of Women in Artisanal Mining. It focuses on the role of women in that type of mining. Now, in May 2019, Suzan Makgareetsa died in one of the mines in Burgersfort in Limpopo, if you recall. Her death has since drawn attention to the conditions women zamas, as they're known, are exposed to. For more on this now, we're joined in the studio by Sifiso Dladla. He's the Mining and Extractive Lead at ActionAid South Africa. Thank you so much for your time this evening. Now, I suppose, as with most things in our society, it goes to show that if there's a problem in terms of gender equity in the mainstream commercial side of mining, it makes sense that the same is reflected in the sort of the non-formal part of the mining industry. And I did find, reading up ahead of our interview, the vast numbers of women participating in now what's called artisanal mining. It's a little bit more acceptable than just calling them zamas. I don't think we've really wrapped our brain around how big a part of that sector women make up. Talk to us a little bit just about the numbers of women involved and what kind of mining are they doing and how are they providing for their communities?
Thank you, Michelle, for having me. That's so true that with this research, it's evidence-based, and we went to 4 sites. We went to Kimberley in the Northern Cape. We went to Stilfontein in the northwest. We went to Burgersfort in Limpopo. We went to Emelo in Mpumalanga. All those are different minerals. So you find the reason that one of the underpinning reasons as to why women are joining this one is the lack of economic opportunities. And these people are living close to these mines. They've never benefited before from mining because we know by history that mining has always given opportunities to male counterparts. So if you look into this, so women want to put bread on their table, and mining and minerals are extracted right at the door of their communities, and these have impacts in their lives. So this time around, people have seen in all these areas that no, we need to take a step, because some of them that we've spoken to have been working before. Some were earning as little as 1,900 to 2,500 rands. That is not enough. In fact, it puts a burden on the family. And understanding the history of South Africa, particularly black South African women, have always been the face of poverty. And if you are hungry, and poverty has no race, poverty has no gender, and large-scale mining has never been lenient towards women. So with artisanal mining, we've seen something different, because they now own their means of production in terms of ensuring that they mine in the whole value chain. They mine, they sell. Yes, the report also talks about the negative impact that women are facing because there's violence.
Yeah. Well, before we get to that, talk to me a little bit about what sounds like is an economy that they have created. Talk to me a little bit about some of the stories that you've heard. Is it women that are teaching each other how to extract these resources, and then setting up an economic system whereby they are distributing and taking care of the financial side as well? Explain to us how that is working, or what you've been able to find out.
Yeah, so mining in its entirety, like I said, it's a value chain. There are those, I think I need to stress this out. What we and our associates, like Mining Affected Communities United in Action, your National Association of Artisanal Miners, NAM, we understand that zamas are the women and men who are only working to put bread on the table, but they are not working to enrich themselves and get maybe R1 million a week. And if you've seen
like subsistence mining,
subsistence
in a way.
mining, yes. And we want to strategically advise government as civil society to say, look, there's been potential, because if you you've been part of the researches and reporting of stories that illegal miners have been intercepted in almost in all provinces. Yet 2 weeks, 3 weeks not even more than that, they are back there. So it means that whatever precautions that government is taking towards intercepting the trade is not working, because poverty is still there. The economy is not making money. There's no opportunities, especially for women. And if you look into this research, it states that 60% of the people that we spoke to have only intermediate schooling, which means there's no opportunities. And these people are in rural areas. There's nothing. So they teach each other how to mine, because hunger will teach you how to be creative, and poverty will give you the resistance as to knowing the mineral. And these people know the minerals because they have been associated with large-scale mining before, and now it's time for them to mine, because they are not those who are going underground. Those are what we call mineral criminals, because when they go underground, they use the machines and they enrich themselves. There's violence, there's kingpins. It's so much criminal organizations. They are different from a person who wakes up even a week and get 1,800 rand. That's fine, because they want to work in.
So what is standing in the way of that type of mining being formalized? Because like you said, safety is an issue, security is an issue. So if it's formalized, that can all be provided and can be monitored, it can be kept an eye on. Is it a lack of political will? Because we all know there's always talk about that relationship between mining and government. Some say it's too close, it's too familiar, and that perhaps there's a lack of political will because too many noses will be bent out of shape in the more commercial side of mining if government were to say make moves to try and formalize this, to provide what little there is for these women who are already putting themselves at risk.
History dictates to us that government has always been aligned to capital, and capital has always been able to capture government. All those things are happening because government needs money from capital, because if you can look into the declaration of political party funding, you find there's a lot of mining companies there. And for mining companies...
A lot of former mining ministers sitting on boards of mining companies.
And a lot of mining companies rely on government so that they are able to evade the law and bend the law, so that government officials can turn a blind eye on it. So in 2016, we adopted what we termed as the People's Mining Charter. And principle number 10 of that speaks about decriminalizing the trade, formalizing it, and regulating it. So all of that needs...
almost 10 years ago now.
No, 2016.
Yeah, but almost. I mean, we're talking about 8 years ago.
Yes.
So it's almost 10 years.
As you're saying, there's no political will. 2 years ago, when we launched the report on strategically advising government on formalizing the trade as well, journalists kept asking, who are the political figures who are there? Because, Michelle, if government wanted to do something on artisanal mining, it would have done something by now. But they're only saying it's illegal, it's illegal. For how long? People are dying there. Large-scale mining is losing money. Government is losing money. People are losing their lives, and people are entering the trade, because even globally, this is a global phenomenon. It's not only a South African thing. In Ghana, Uganda, I've been there, seen women taking an initiative and a leading role in ensuring that they work. If this space was to be made safe, it would require every player, role player, to say, now we are tired of arresting illegal miners for 2 days and we find them.
And what are these women telling your field workers that went out to do this research? You speak about the many risks that they face, physically firstly, but you also say there are issues with assault and sexual violence that takes place, as well as it is with being a woman in South Africa. What are they telling you? What do they want?
They want to participate in the formal economy. They want to be safe. They want the space to be able to, for you to be at work today, you are able to come to work. They also need that with safety and all the regulations and the protection and the assurance that they will wake up tomorrow and be able to put bread on their table. If I can refer to a story for you, in Emelo, one woman used to earn less than 1,000 rand in arranging of transportation of minerals. But when she entered, she's able to make 18,000 rands.
Sure. That's a massive, that's a life-changing difference, a change that will change the lives of generations after her. And surely that kind of story can be replicated.
Of course, and then the challenges in Kimberley, we were told that women would find the same amount of carats of diamonds. But between you and I, if you were to sell yours, you will get less money than I am because of the gender aspect of it. And so all of those things need to be ensured that they are secured under policy as well as legislation, so that we go beyond what the apartheid system made people to benefit or not benefit from mining. And when 2016, when people started rebelling and asking for more money, we resulted in Marikana.
Thank you so much. Indeed. Thank you so much for coming to tell us more about that report and the work that your organization is doing. Let's hope it's not the last of this conversation. Sifiso Dladla is the mining and extractive lead at ActionAid South Africa. We thank him for his time this evening.